The Apostle Paul said something very special in the first chapter of Philippians. He was thanking the church for their partnership from his first day until now. We have some wonderful partnerships with missionaries here at Christian Life Center, and I want to bring a very special person to the forefront today. He is leading the Cry of India, and it's Pastor David Costin. Yay! He's been a longtime partner here. He was our senior pastor for 16 years. He grew up in the mission field in India and has returned there to care for the children and offered certain sponsorship programs for kids. He's rescuing them, feeding them, educating them. And we want to bring a video to you from him about the work of Cry of India.
Good morning. I'm David Costin. My wife Nancy and I have been missionaries for the past 12 years in the land of India. Because of our calling, Nancy and I have focused our attention on two things in particular. First, we build churches where there is no church. There are many house church congregations that are filled with first-time believers that undergo serious persecution. For example, one of our pastors in the southern area of Rajasthan, who was a Hindu convert, stayed in his village and reached over 100 people for Christ. He was severely beaten and left for dead by other Hindus in the village. You see, he only had a house church. Now we have built him a building. And when churches have a building, they have to be protected by the police, and persecution subsides. Many of our churches meet in open fields and vacant lots, setting up each week in a field and taking down their facilities, and they are also subject to great persecution. Others meet in vacant lots in cities, waiting for the opportunity to have a building. Most all of these churches are filled with first-time believers, so building churches has been one of our major priorities. We have built over 100 churches in these last 12 years. It only takes $7,000 to build a church, and we can build a church many times cheaper than you can build a shed in your backyard here in the United States. All of these churches are filled with new converts. God is moving in India in spite of the persecution. The second thing that we do is we reach, feed, and educate children in the slums of India. We started this ministry 10 years ago called Cry of India to support these children. We have seen so many of them come to Christ, and they are the key to reaching their families. I just dedicated a new school building in the slums of Delhi that reaches over 300 children. It is our privilege to partner with great Indian leadership in the running of these schools. We currently sponsor about 2,000 children in the slums. You can join us in this venture. It only costs $30 a month to sponsor a child, and we have hundreds of children available. You can go to our website at www.cryofindia.org and sponsor a child directly. Your contributions go through Assemblies of God World Missions to Cry of India. One of our new schools is called Ashagao. It is in the villages where the sex slave industry buys children for their purposes. We've been able to educate so many of the women and their children, and many are coming to Christ through this outreach center. Our school here was just recently approved by the government, and we are now in the process of accepting many new children. How we praise God for these open doors and wonderful opportunities. What we do is only made possible because of your generosity, of your support, and your prayers. Thank you from both Nancy and myself for all that you are doing, and please continue to hold us in your prayers.
If you want to sponsor a child from Cry of India, feel free to visit their website. We have another little clip we want to share today from their April 2020 newsletter. It shows you some footage as they're caring for people in India who are suffering with the COVID-19 virus and how they're feeding them and doing the work of the ministry that God has called them to do. Listen, you have a great week and go live the mission. Thanks for joining us for this Go Moment.
Thank you so much for your present support during this time of the pandemic. With your help, we have been able to meet the needs of families that have been affected and displaced in this time of crisis.
I take this time and opportunity to say thanks to Cry of India Thank you so much for standing with us at the time of this human crisis. Thank you so much for loving us. Thank you so much for believing in us. Thank you so much for helping us to continue what we are called for.
With your help and support, we can provide for these people who have been most affected in this country right now. Thank you so much for your prayers, your support, and standing with us. God bless.